In 1916, a truck rolled off the production line in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and quietly went on to change the history of construction, the logging industry, and even war itself. It hauled rock up roads that barely deserved the name. It dragged whole trees out of forests few machines could survive. It carried the material load after load for a wall of concrete rising where a river used to run. Different job sites, different states, sometimes different decades. Same machine, doing the work nobody else wanted. By the time people started calling it the Bulldog, it had already earned it. This is the story of the Mack AC. To understand the AC, you have to understand what Mack was trying to prove. By 1916, the automobile had already reshaped how people moved. But hauling heavy freight over rough roads for hundreds of miles, that problem hadn't been solved yet. Mack's chief engineer, Edward Hewitt, designed an answer that looked less like a delivery truck and more like a machine built for war. The chassis was pressed chrome nickel steel, heat-treated until it could take loads that would fold a lesser frame in half. The engine was a four-cylinder, producing 74 horsepower. In 1916, that was enormous. And instead of a drive shaft, Mack ran the power through exposed chains straight to the rear wheels. Loud, ugly, completely exposed to mud and grit, and exactly what heavy hauling needed: raw torque that could survive conditions a smoother, quieter system never would. It could carry up to 7.5 tons. Mack called it the AC. The world would come to call it something else. The company behind it had already been building things for 16 years. It started in Brooklyn, New York in 1900. Two brothers, John and Augustus Mack, everyone called them Jack and Gus. They'd bought a small carriage and wagon shop years earlier and started building buses. More brothers joined: William, Joseph, Charles. 5 Macks, 1 company. By 1905, they'd outgrown Brooklyn and moved their operations to Allentown, Pennsylvania. For a few years, their trucks even carried a different name: Manhattan. By 1910, that name was gone. Everything was Mack now. They were building a reputation for trucks that didn't break. The AC, launched in 1916, was about to put that reputation to its hardest test yet. That test came almost immediately, in the mud of the Western Front. Britain needed trucks that could survive conditions no vehicle had been designed for: shattered roads, endless overloading, weather that destroyed machinery in weeks. The Mack AC didn't just survive it, it thrived in it. British troops hauled tanks with it, searchlights, anti-aircraft guns, and they gave it a nickname that stuck to every truck the company would ever build: the Bulldog. By the end of the war, roughly 2,000 ACs had gone to British forces. Another 4,500 went to the American military. In 1922, Mack made it official. The Bulldog became the company's symbol. It's still on the hood of every Mack truck today. But back home, the AC wasn't fighting a war anymore. It was fighting for a market. And on paper, it was losing. Henry Ford had already flooded the country with the Model TT, a light, affordable truck built for one job: put hauling power within reach of ordinary farmers and small businesses. By 1920, more than half the trucks in America were Fords, but the two trucks were never really built for the same fight. The Model TT could carry around a ton. The Mack AC carried up to 7.5. The TT was priced to sell in volume. The AC was priced for people who needed a machine that wouldn't quit. Ford won the numbers. Mack won the jobs nobody else could handle. And it was those jobs that would define the AC's legacy. Mining companies were among the first to notice. Through the 1920s and into the 1930s, operations across the country began adding Mack AC trucks to their fleets, trusting them to move rock and ore that would tear a lesser machine apart within a season. The logging industry embraced it just as fast and maybe harder. A stiff chassis and low gearing made the AC one of the only trucks that could haul heavy timber out of rough backwoods terrain, down grades that would stall or wreck a smaller truck outright. In logging camps from the Pacific Northwest to the South, the same scene repeated for years. An AC stacked well past its rated load with raw timber, grinding down a muddy access road that barely qualified as a road at all. For a lot of logging operations, the AC wasn't just useful, it was the only way the timber got out of the forest. And on construction sites, the AC found what might have been its most natural role of all, the dump truck. Road crews, quarries, and excavation projects loaded ACs down with gravel, rock, and fill dirt day after day in conditions that chewed through ordinary vehicles within months. It was rugged. It was simple to repair out in the field, with no delicate electronics or complex systems to fail. And it just kept running. That's exactly what a construction site needed. And it's exactly what sent the AC toward the biggest job sites in the country. And nowhere was that more true than at two of the largest construction projects of the 20th century. Starting in 1931, the United States began building the largest dam on Earth on the Colorado River, the Hoover Dam. To build it, crews needed trucks that could haul concrete, rock, and earth up and down canyon walls, day after day for 5 straight years. Mack supplied them. Specially configured AC and AP dump trucks, some built specifically as rock trucks for this exact job. Footage from the site, dated as far back as October of 1933, show Mack ACs carrying workers and materials right into the heart of the construction. At the same time, on the other side of the country, another landmark was rising. The Golden Gate Bridge, under construction from 1933 to 1937. Mack Trucks worked that site too, appearing in the newsreels Americans watched in theaters, tying the Bulldog to two of the most ambitious projects the country had ever attempted. Two of America's greatest engineering achievements, built in part on the back of one truck. By the time production ended in 1938, Mack had built 40,299 Model AC trucks. At the time, no commercial vehicle in American history had stayed in production longer. Mack still builds trucks today. In 2000, the company became part of the Volvo Group. The lineup changed completely. The AC's descendants now carry names like the Granite and the Pinnacle, still built for the same brutal job sites, construction, mining, and heavy vocational work. The Anthem carries the name onto the highway, but the Bulldog never left the hood. And the reputation those modern trucks lean on, the idea that a Mack is the truck you send when the job is too rough for anything else, didn't start with them. It started with the AC. The AC had fought a war before America officially joined it, earned a nickname that became a company's entire identity, and then spent 2 decades proving that nickname right on every job site tough enough to need it. The Mack AC didn't just survive its era, it helped build it. If you want to see what happens when that same built-to-survive-anything mindset gets strapped to a blade and sent to war, our video on the bulldozers of World War II is right there waiting for you. If you like this video, subscribe to Heavy Machines Era. There's a lot more ground to cover.